It is 7:02. I'm going to call to order the September, wait a second. Yeah, September 29th, 2021 Wakefield Planning Board.
September 28th.
28th. Usually I'm way behind now, so a little bit. So, all right, roll call vote. Theo Knoll.
Here.
Jim Hogan.
Here.
Bill Spalding.
Here.
All right, and Megan Menasali is not here tonight. So we only have a couple items. First is going to be approval of the minutes from September 14th. Does anyone have any comments on the meeting minutes?
No comment.
All right, do I hear a motion to accept the meeting minutes from September 14th, 2021 as presented?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Jim. Okay, roll call vote. Theo,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and myself, yes, to approve the meeting minutes. We have basically one other item besides items not anticipated, and that's to set a public hearing date. I had instructed the applicant to tune in because we need to go over some issues, and I don't see him here yet. So we're going to give him a few minutes. So at that point, I'm going to move ahead to item 4, items not anticipated. I don't have anything. I don't know if anyone else does at this point for items not anticipated.
I do have one. I was invited to a Safe Streets. I'm part of the Safe Streets Wakefield. It's not a committee. It's not a sanctioned committee through the town, but it's just safe streets, walkability, multimodal biking. I think you know what I'm talking about. But I was invited to join in on a discussion with a group from Melrose, and it was really interesting. And they pulled together a survey too that I'm filling out. Obviously, I'm part of this committee as not part of the plan, not as a voice from our planning board. But I just wanted to let you know there's a lot of good things happening in Melrose if you've been through for bike safety and walkability. And if you've similar to if you've walked on Albion Street lately, you can see some of the improvements going on, especially near the North Ave side, where they did bring in one of those crosswalks, maybe about 100 yards from North Ave lights. So the distance walking across Albion is a lot shorter and safer for that. So some of the improvements are starting to happen, be it some parklets or some safer. I haven't seen any trees going in yet or any additional benches, but hopefully that's part of the plan as well. But I just wanted to let you know, if you are interested, there's a Safe Streets meeting. I can share it if anybody's interested. I'm not sure when the next one will be, but it's good to get that type of information on what's going around. And they're doing a good job at bringing in what's happening in other towns too. That's all.
All right. Sounds
That's
good.
really great. Is there, would there be any opportunity for them to just lead a discussion with us?
I think it could. I think especially when we get further along and we get into master plan discussions and all that,
Okay.
there's a lot of good going on. A lot of it is like, here's a guest speaker that works for the Mass Bicycle Coalition or somebody who does the Safe Streets to get funding for like a bike rodeo. We put it on for kids and it's about safety and learning about bikes and all that. So it could be something. I could bring it up with the chairs that to see if there was something they'd like to present or discuss.
Yeah, I thought they often conflicted with our meetings, but
They do. They're the last Tuesday of each month or the third, yeah, something like that, which often falls in our Tuesday. Yeah. So I get to make some of them. They're not recorded. They went to Zoom, obviously, like everything else did. But it's a good amount of information with a lot of feedback. A lot of the same people that have been on Vision 2030 and the other revitalization and safe street stuff that we've done here in Wakefield.
Yeah,
Right.
it is a great shout out. I only had 2 items, which is really just to say, I know I owe some follow-up on an onboarding process, and I'm building off of Bill's notes, and I'll be able to check back in the near future on that. And Jim and I started some conversation around some questions to prompt business owners and town members about the lake overlay. So I don't know. Yeah, Jim can discuss that, or we'll certainly bring it back at a later point to the group.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that the lake overlay, I think that we had a couple of ideas. I think that, probably would make sense next time we set it up to have someone distribute a number of the questions beforehand, just so we can get alignment on how we want to run one of those forums. Maybe with a little bit more of a back and forth as starting point or something, to try to drive some of that engagement.
All right, sounds good. I don't know if anyone else has anything for items not anticipated.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to item 3. I see Mr. Liu, you are here. We're here to set a public hearing date for your citizens petition. So one thing I want to ask, so to pronounce your first name, it's Nye?
Knee.
Nee, okay, all right. All right, good to talk to you. So we're here to set a hearing date, and we're going to be setting that up, potentially setting that up for November 26th. So I just wanted you to understand that since town
Is it
meeting
October
is,
or November? Sorry, October or November?
Mr. Liu, you there?
Yep, sorry.
All right. Since town meeting is, actually, I'm sorry, not November. I misquoted. October 26th is when we would have your public hearing. I just want you to know that it does not give us any time for a second meeting between our meeting and town meeting.
Yes.
Historically, on almost all zoning changes, we've had multiple meetings because we've had quite a bit of participation and a lot of back and forth. So what could potentially happen? Well, there's 3 things that could happen. Either we vote to recommend it, which, having one meeting, I don't know if it's likely. The other option is that we vote to not recommend it at town meeting. And the third is that we continue the public hearing because we haven't had enough input. So if we continue public hearing, then it would not go forward at town meeting. So you're aware of that? And you still want to go forward with it, knowing that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to set a public hearing for your zoning change to repeal zoning bylaw section 190-31H. And I'm going to set that for October 26th. And I'm going to set it for 8:15. We have another public hearing at 7:15. What may happen is if we're still in the process of the first public hearing, I may open up your public hearing and then continue it till later in that night, just so you know. So, all right. And the text that was presented with that Tom Mullins sent, that's the exact text that's gonna be on the warrant, correct?
The one that he sent, seems like he stripped out some stuff. Is that fair?
Well, whatever the text is that you want, you need to present to us.
Mhm.
Because the text that gets published in the paper is going to be the text, actually, I think they already, I think they've already closed the date. And so I don't know if they've accepted the text that Tom Mullen had said. So one of the things that needs to be done within the next few days is to clarify exactly what the text is and make sure it's set. There'll be an issue if the text that's published is not the same that shows up at town meeting. So that needs to be rectified.
Yeah,
And
so I had presented the text back on Friday, September 17th. Do you have that version? And that was what I worked with my attorney.
That's when you had all your petitioner's notes on there though, correct?
Nope, this is just the straight text.
On the 17th,
Yes.
and who was that sent to?
Planning board, my attorney.
All right, so planning board. So is that one where it says warrant article to see if the town will vote to repeal bylaw section 190-31H? And then you have the proponent statement after that?
Yes.
Okay. The proponent statement will not be published in the paper. That's not part of the article. So what's going to be published in the article is to see if the town will vote to repeal the zoning bylaw section 190-31H.
Okay.
Is that correct? I just want to clarify, I just want to get this set, so.
So back to my, this is what I proposed. I mean, I worked with my lawyer to put this together and we sent it to planning board and town council came back and they stripped out everything other than that to see if the town will vote to repeal zoning bylaw section 190-31H. Right? I mean, that's what he did. That's what Attorney Mullen.
Again, Mr. Liu, this is something that you're proposing. You need to have the text set. So I don't know if anyone stripped anything out. If there's, what I'm saying is we need to know the exact text that you want to go in the paper, and it can't have your proponent statement attached to it. Was there
Okay.
something different that you had sent to them?
Who's them? I mean, this is what I sent to you, to the planning board as requested.
All right, first of all, it gets referred to us by the town council, so you would have had to send it to the town council. The town council approves it and then forwards it to us.
Okay.
So is this the text that,
Oh, got it. Okay. Yes, so the
Okay, then that is what's gonna get published in the paper. And that's what we're gonna have a public hearing on.
Yeah.
All right. So you're prepared to present this at town meeting and to present this at our planning board, correct?
Correct. And I'll have
Okay.
people to support me. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I will coordinate with Erin, and she will get that in the paper. So that is gonna have to be in the paper. So 2 weeks before, which is one of the issues, is that we have a meeting 2 weeks before, so this is why it's going 4 weeks from now. So, so it will be published October 12th and again on the 19th for the public hearing date of October 26th. All right, okay.
Okay.
Then we're all set. Thank you, and we will see you on October 26th.
Great. All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right. I'm going to briefly switch back to item 4. Anyone else have no other issues? Things unanticipated? So, all right. I do think that we will have a approval not required plan at our next meeting. This is one that I have reviewed for compliance with our rules and regulations. This is a newer surveyor who has not done work in town, so there was some issues and it's been going back and forth. So I believe it's at the correct stage where we can forward it along. So so I anticipate that we'll have that at our next meeting. I'm not sure what else we'll have then, but we'll see. All right. So yes, Bill.
Question about the A&R. Is that something that we'll receive electronically? Or are we?
Yes. Yes, they basically sent it along to me, but their attorney sent it along, but it was not signed and stamped, and the form was not filled out and signed and stamped.
Okay.
Of course, signed, so that's why it didn't come tonight, because he didn't have it ready.
Right, so we'll all have, if this is going forward before our next meeting, we'll have a PDF the Tuesday or Wednesday before the meeting
Yes,
to review. Okay,
he's been instructed to get it to us before the deadline for the agenda. So I said by that Wednesday morning,
Okay.
prior to our next meeting. So as soon as we get it, we'll send it out so people can review it.
thanks.
All right. All right. Hearing no other issues, I'm going to move to item 5, adjournment. Do we hear a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Motion by Bill, do we hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Theo. All right. Roll call vote. Jim,
Yes.
Theo,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and myself, yes, to adjourn. All right, thank you. This was a good meeting.